Hi there, Malcolm here with my 50th Booktube video, and today I'll be sharing with you my November TBR. I know we're nearly a week into November already, but so what? Possibly ambitious. I know I'm not going to finish every single one of them, but I'll certainly give it my best shot. Starting with my book of the month, New York 2140 by Kim Stanley Robinson. 122 years in the future, New York has been flooded, like the rest of the coastal cities in the world. While it may have been a bit of a disaster to start off with, the city continues to thrive, as each of the skyscrapers and super skyscrapers have become vertical cities of their own right. Now, after a week of reading this, I'm almost 60 pages in and still haven't a clue what it's about. It seems to focus on one building, and each chapter follows an individual from that building. And generally, if somebody else is mentioned in one chapter, it's a good chance that they're going to be the focus of the following chapter. By and large, they're living, they're loving, they're scavenging, they're surviving. There is a missing persons mystery, but beyond that, at the moment, it feels like a day in the life of ... But so far I'm finding it highly engrossing. In my next video I'll be telling you a bit more about it and what I thought of it, having read it. That's over 600 pages long. I need to get a move on. Provided that I do actually finish this month, it'll be then on to my library book, which is Not Scythe Book 2 Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman, which is what I wanted. The library didn't have it, so I settled for this, which I looked at previously. Cell 7 by Kerry Drury. A 16-year-old Martha is accused of murdering a celebrity, and what follows seems to be some sort of Judge Judy / Big Brother style trial in which the public get to vote on the outcome of her verdict. On the surface it has that feel of Popcorn by Ben Elton, which I read last year, but it was enticing enough for me to pick it up, so I'll see what I think. However, I'm slightly against the clock here because I've got to try and finish this before we move house. So provided I do finish that, I'll then not be reading Coalescent by Stephen Baxter. I still like the shiny in it. Shiny. I said last month I was going to try and read it. I did. After a page I wondered what is going on. And after a bit of research it turns out that you got to read most of his Zeeley sequence first before any of this makes sense. Having not read the Zeeley sequence I thought, okay, I'll try a different Stephen Baxter book. So instead of reading this, I started reading Mammoth, also by Stephen Baxter. And Mammoth, unsurprisingly, is all about a mammoth. I'm currently halfway through and then ran out of October, and so I'll resume this after I've read the other two books I've just shown you. Not Coalescent, obviously. This follows a rapidly dwindling and increasingly more extinct herd of mammoths as they live, as they die, as they make smaller mammoths. This is actually a much easier read than I thought it was going to be. I'm looking forward to finishing it off. And if I do, I'll be rereading Fat by Rob Grant. In this satirical novel, it is, although not on paper illegal to be obese, for all intents and purposes it might as well be. And fat camps are constructed around the outskirts of cities where all people who are deemed to be unacceptable are then relocated. A very funny book that takes a very pointed look at people's attitudes and behaviours towards other people about what they eat and how they look. I remember this being quite a good one to read. Provided I manage to get through all of that, which is looking increasingly doubtful, seeing it's been a week and I've not even finished my first book yet, I'll then move on to a bit of light reading, The Mammoth Book of Apocalyptic Sci-Fi, featuring 24 short stories / novellas on the upbeat theme of apocalyptic life. I do like a good collection of short stories. I hope this is one of them. My 3 graphic novels of this month will hopefully be Star Wars A Long Time Ago, Book 2, Dark Encounters. I haven't got book 1, haven't read book 1. This is a collection of the original Marvel comics that came out after the original film, where Luke and Leia were certainly more into each other than they would be if they knew the truth. A little bit dated in places and canonically out of whack regardless of which source you go to. These are actually still quite fun. I've already read the first few comics in this, and over 360 pages, I've still got a way to go. And then I'll try out A Long Time Ago Volume 4, Wookiee World, which after a series of adventures I won't have read at all, the story will continue. Yes, I really must try and get complete sets of collections. So, more comics. And after that, I'll be reading Boba Fett, Man with a Mission, in which there's a series of short stories featuring the bounty hunter Boba Fett as he goes on missions. Now on to books I'm reading other people. To my youngest, I'll be reading the end of Only You Can Save Mankind. I say the end because I read the rest of it last month, so it won't take long to finish. A young lad named Johnny Maxwell discovers that the aliens that he's fighting in his computer game want to surrender, and then has to try and save them from all the other players. Jolly good fun, and my son's first foray into Terry Pratchett. And once we finish that, he does want the next book in the series, which is Johnny and the Dead, where instead of computer aliens, this time Johnny has to save a bunch of ghosts who don't want their cemetery to be developed. For my eldest, we've moved on to book 4 of the Willard Price's adventure series, Volcano Adventure. This is treading new ground for me because this is one of the few Willard Price books I've not read, where Hal and Roger give up their animal collecting ways for a bit and join a professor as he examines various volcanoes. Unfortunately, the scientist in question seems to have some sort of weird behaviour which could risk everything. And to my wife, I am reading The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. This is a Herculean tome at 800 plus pages. We're currently 227 pages in, and I have no expectation of finishing it this month. But I hope to get a long way through it. But I'm going to do my best. In this fantasy realm, one people are being oppressed by another people, and one of the oppressed is imprisoned with his friend. And after escaping, they then go on a quest to find this Ember Sword, which will presumably help them in some way. Told very much from the ground, through either of the two friends' perspective, there's a great deal about the mythology of this world that we don't know, because they don't know yet. And at nearly 300 pages in, I still don't really know what's going on. I do know I'm enjoying it, and my wife's enjoying it. It's a good ride to be on. There you go, I'll let you know in about a month how I got on with all that, and a bit sooner how I got on with New York 2140. If you have any comments or questions on the things I've just shown you, if you've read any of those, I'd love to hear your thoughts on them, but no spoilers please. But as always, if you have nothing nice to say, then please keep it to yourself. Thank you. Until next time, see you later.